Alright, so I'm planning to go backwards. I'm really hoping you guys can see my mouse pointer right now. I'm trying to figure out if it works with what I'm using. I've made a few tutorials for a quick game, but I want to go backwards and just demo Scratch for anyone who doesn't know what Scratch is. Well, besides the fact that Scratch is this cat, Scratch itself is a pretty cool, I guess you could call it an IDE, where you can make a pretty fun game really fast. Anyways, I'm going to show you what you can do. So here is the main thing. These tools right here, the motion, looks, these are all your commands you can give. Our commands are always going to have to start with some sort of event, so we can start with, like, for instance, when this flag is clicked. That's usually the one you start with because the green flag is when that starts. It's like opening a program, essentially, and starting that program. These are called controls. They're basically most of your loops and if statements. There are a few other things like create clones, but mostly what they are loops and if statements and the things that kind of keep your game going or stopping. So there's a stop function too. Sensing, as you can imagine, is all the plausible sensing functions. So they sense time, they sense locations, they sense buttons pressed. So you can say key pressed, different keys. Did you click? So mouse down is key press. So this would be like good for a Flappy Bird game. Touching color, that's good, for instance, if once we start making gravity functions, or if you happen to make a AI robot that's got sensors in front of it when they touch certain colors or something such as that. Operators, as you can imagine, for those of you with a decent math background, just refer to pluses, minuses, anything that adds or compares, etc. There are some fancy ones, like we can use some pretty fancy cosine, arcsine, etc., and some higher level math that you'll definitely have to use if you decide to do something 3D, or if you want to start involving some major physics into a game. But for now, and I don't think I'll really ever make a game with too much physics, but we can get that involved if you think that'd be interesting to you. Like making a good pinball game is a great example. More blocks. So for those of you who actually program, this actually would be what we consider functions. For those of you who don't know what functions are, looking up wouldn't be bad for you to understand, but just to give you a quick understanding, they're like essentially like think like a tool or a method that you can just call. So you could have one that's called gravity, and the code that's connected to this block would be everything that's connected with gravity, and then you have to make sure that after you put that code there, because it's not just going to work if you call it gravity, your computer doesn't know what that means. You're going to put something underneath here that does something. So for instance, let's make one. This one's easy. Hello world. This is like the basic function that you will always make when you start programming. So all you're going to say in it is hello world. So basically, if I run this function right now, we have to make sure it's in this loop, otherwise it will not work. It'll say hello world. So that's just basics. Data. So data has two options, variables and lists. I don't really like it because they call it lists. They should be called arrays. We can get into that some other time, linked lists and all that, but let's just forget about it. So variables are really important in programming in general. So they let you, let's call one called foo. This will just hold something. So I can make foo equal to anything I want. Right now it's equal to 0, but I could change this to hello, and with 3 L's apparently. And now it'll equal hello. If you look up in the screen where this, you'll see that's equal to hello. But I can change this to anything. It could be some ridiculous, whatever you want it to be. It can be a number, it can be a string of letters, it doesn't matter. A list, on the other hand, is like it sounds, so I'm just going to name this list 1, 2, 3, is exactly as it sounds. It can be a list of things. So this one can be some different position things. But since we're not using it, I'm not going to really explain what these numbers mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, and how to use it properly. Let's just get rid of that. Okay, pen, if you want to start rendering, for instance, pen's super important, but you can also just do cool drawings with it. Sound, as you can imagine, is mostly sound. There is some ability to play your own notes and choose how to, like, basically make your own song, but we're not going to worry about that. I probably won't even use that much else than to play a sound. Looks. So looks is a little confusing because you also have say and think. So a lot of people will go to sound for say because they assume it's a sound, but it's just something that shows up on the screen, like this hello world function we see here. But you can switch costume, switch backdrop, you can have color effects. So I can change this color. So if we're changing the color of this cat constantly, he'll say hello world and constantly change colors as he's sitting here. There's also some cool sensing functions here, and I guess they're not functions, just It can sense what costume number you're on, sense what backdrop name you're on, and sense the size of your character. Those are really good. You should probably think about why you might use those if you ever see the game, like maybe where a certain backdrop has certain bad guys in it, and or a certain costume number means you're attacking and you're not defending, so you should actually be able to hurt someone. But that's, again, this is just a quick tutorial. Motion. So motion, as you can imagine, is everything that has to do with movement. Turning, moving, going to certain locations. Also sensing your certain locations, so I can actually show these. My current X and Y position are 0, 0. My current direction should be 90. Exactly. Beautiful. If you want to upload your own sprites, you can hit this upload sprite from file, and you can hit this, and you can, my file is kind of messy, but let's see, so I've got a Sonic the Hedgehog, or this fighter jet from the fighter jet game, and I can upload this image. Of course, you have to work on learning how to cut this out, and I can show you how to do it if you want. Please message me for those kind of things if there's any particular things you want. Obviously, there's also this painting ability, so you can paint your own sprites. I'm pretty zoomed in here. So you can paint your own sprites, and let's see, you can even take a picture of yourself. I'm not going to take a picture of myself. I don't want everyone knowing who I am and seeing my face. No, I'm not that bad. Let's see. So backdrops is very similar. You can choose your own backdrops. You can upload your own backdrop. You can take a picture of your own backdrop, or you can paint your own backdrop. It's pretty straightforward. That's pretty much it. If you guys have any specific questions or specific games you want, just ping me, let me know, leave a comment, whatever you want. Other than that, I think that's it for now. Please just let me know.